It's Wednesday, December 6th, 2023 at 6 o'clock. I'm calling the Board of Health meeting to order. Is anyone recording this meeting? See no one, and LakeCAM is recording this meeting. First on the agenda is 8 Galfrey Road to meet with Dakota Roy with a new stable permit. Step on up to the mics. So Ed, we have all the stuff from Jared or?
Yeah, so it's not built yet, the actual housing for the horses, but they did go out, he's got plenty of land, there's no issue there. The plan checks out okay, he's got all the setbacks, requirements good there. So when he actually builds it, we'll actually send the animal inspector out, just to confirm it's suitable for the horses, but that's the only, pending thing would be, inspection once it's built.
What about 60 from the well though, is that all right?
Yeah, actually, it's actually more than 60, but, we only require 50.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
This is brand new, or is it?
Yeah, so they updated it recently. There was we got one plan on November 7th, and we got another one on December 4th, where the barn is pushed a little further back, a little further up the hill, and it actually shows the grade slopes. That's the smaller one.
Yeah, that's where I thought it was in like an upgrade to an existing permit. That's why I was asking about Jared
So
too.
there are two plans there. We can the old ones there too.
Are you guys abutters to this?
We are.
Okay.
We're completely in favor.
Well, that makes it easy then.
Did you want to speak to it at all?
No,
No?
not much.
You guys got anything else?
I'm good. I'll make a motion, we approve the stable permit at 8 Galfrey Road.
Second?
Any more discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yep. When the neighbors are in favor of it, I don't have any problems at all.
We're doing it.
Thanks for coming though, that makes a difference when people come to support one.
Thank you.
Turns a half hour into 5 minutes.
All right, thank you guys, appreciate your time.
All right, next on the agenda is 8 Virginia Drive, meet with ZM Consulting Engineers to discuss local upgrade approvals, and I'm under the understanding that this is to be continued.
They reached out today and asked to continue it for, what, a month?
We have to have
Yeah,
the
they
date.
want to go to the January 3rd meeting.
January 3rd.
I'll make a motion, we continue this until our January 3rd meeting.
Second?
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next on the agenda is 9 Langlois. Langlois? Langlois, I think. Pines, discuss and possible vote on waiver for replacement well.
Huh?
I had only briefly looked at it, because I didn't have,
They can get one over there.
Oh yeah, I can see this one, thank you.
I know you were studying it, Derek.
Yes, I actually drove out there just before the meeting, just to actually see what the place looked like, because there's just so many houses and everything around there.
Right there. Can you-
There's the big
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, I get a big one too, I get a.
Yeah, there's
new
one, there's the next one right there. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, printed out all the houses around it and everything. I guess they're asking to put it back in the same spot, Chris, which, I don't know why we would put it back in the same spot when you can move it further. To make it most, and I think when they redo the septic at some point, it's already a small lot. There isn't a lot further they can move it, but there is a little. And Ed, you can probably talk to it too, I know Ed's been out there and looked at the septic tank to confirm it was a tank.
Yeah, so they just label it septic system covers, so obviously there's a difference between a tank and a pit. So the one directly behind the house, that's actually a septic tank.
Okay,
Whereas the one further away, probably about 20, 30 feet back, that's actually a 6x6 leaching pit.
okay.
And I mean, for new code anyway, at least on a tank, it's 50 feet to a well. He only has 37 where it is existing and proposed. but if you scale it, he can get 50 to the tank by going further away from it.
Up to this corner here.
Correct, up
Yeah.
inside the fence. You gain about another 10 feet from the cesspool by moving it there, you get about 62 that I scaled. Even though he owns more land up here to get it further up,
Yeah,
this is pavement.
okay,
This line is pavement, and this is a paved driveway getting out to this house,
okay,
and this is stone, like it's all like a turnaround, cause this is just a dead end.
yeah,
I mean, you can put down dead ends into here, but this is almost like a turnaround, that's where I turned around to come back
Yeah.
out. So to stick a well out here, it is further, it's more
Yeah.
feasibly compliable, but
So is it more like they wanted to go back there for protection than anything because of that turnaround?
that's what Ed,
I think they were just concerned, like they didn't know where everything was, so they just said, okay, let's put it in the same spot, type of thing. But like I said, now that they've done the plan, if they've got all the septic systems on there, we can push it further away and not, and make it safer.
yeah, I mean, if we can push it back here, which people on TV can't see, but if we push it over there and it's not gonna interfere with that turnaround,
correct, cause this is a white picket
yeah,
plastic fence right there, so you're definitely protected behind that.
yeah,
And like you said, it should come up here more, but this is definitely,
yeah,
you can't put it out in
no,
the, it's almost like.
it'll
in the road.
snow and somebody will take it out.
It's all just
Yeah.
really like you're putting in the road.
Then you don't wanna go too close that way because then you're in the driveway.
This is a
but-
paved driveway to the neighbors.
But like-
This is a-
What about,
So like right about here, right?
what about the bottom left side?
Right around here? Right, we don't wanna go up there and we don't wanna go in here, right? We wanna stay around here somewhere?
that's inside the well radius, it'd actually be up this way, be right up 10 feet off this property line.
Oh, right off the fence?
Yeah, just behind the fence.
Okay,
Is about as furthest you could go without literally having it as a target.
Yeah.
You'd have to put barriers around it to go out
What
there.
about down by that stone retaining wall?
Where's that?
These are well,
Towards the left corner of the lot, on the left side of the lot down
see
here.
these big
retaining
arcs?
wall?
These are all septic radiuses.
Yeah, so we'd be outside of it, like we put it like right in here. And we're away from that, we're off the road, the retaining wall's protecting it a little bit, I'm just saying.
and that's keeping it out of the setback too,
It keeps it out of the setback, it gets us further.
over
away.
here. But you talked about it's out of the setback.
That's actually like their parking where it comes up.
Is that-
This is all
That's
parking.
all stone,
It's all stone and like.
all the way up to
roadway.
that concrete block and the steps and everything?
Yes,
Okay,
that's like built right into this.
which would be
pavement.
just as bad for a plow, would probably clip it.
It's all wide open.
Oh.
There's, the whole front of this is just like a turnaround.
But right up here, where you're saying, inside the fence,
Yeah.
and,
Well, as far as you could,
yeah,
it's not ideal.
it's
It's
better
only-
though.
Yeah, it's
They
better.
still need a
10
variance, but it's better.
It was only 62 feet from, and everything does go downhill,
Yeah.
so the well is almost 10 feet higher up there than where the septic is. So the septic is flowing away from the well.
Yeah,
Not flowing towards, that's the highest point in that roadway. You come up to that peak.
And all the other septics are flowing away too, right?
They're all
I think
lower,
so.
way lower. So you have 100 from the other neighbors, it's just theirs.
hey, did you bring a scale ruler with you tonight?
Yeah, I gave it.
So how far would that be?
I come up with about 60, you almost get a 65.
So fancy.
It's a 10, Bob.
And probably 55 for the tank, that's what I'm coming up with. But also they measured to the center of the pit, like Ed had said, not to the edge of the stone. So you're almost probably gonna lose 5 feet from where they measured from, because you should be measuring from the center of, the edge of the stone, not center of the pit. That's where leaching
Yeah.
area, so you really, even at 65, you're probably 60 from edge of stone to the new well location. Is that what you come up with?
Oh, that's the field, right? And that's
That's
the
the
tank
field.
that's there
So
now.
the tank, you can easily, we need 50 on the tank, yeah, you can
The
easily
tank,
get.
there, 50's easy. And then over here, yeah, you're at like 64, maybe 62?
Right, and that's the center of the pit, so
Yeah.
you gotta factor in.
You gotta go the other way.
Yeah, cause it's a 8-foot pit, it's 4 feet plus 2 feet of stone,
Yeah,
you're talking another 6 feet. So you're only about 60.
Yeah, and where they're moving it to, going by that, they go in the center, they'd be at 40 or something by the time you go in the middle of that,
Right.
to where it is.
Yeah, you'd definitely be under 52.
Yeah.
You're under 50, you can't even put it there, because if you went to edge of stone, you're at,
Yeah,
you said
you're within
46
50, we
feet,
can't
you
even do that.
Can't even give you variance on that, so it can't go where it is.
So I think it should go up here.
So is there, the other thing I was thinking though too, just now too, like where it's a pit, like that's gonna be repaired at some point.
That's what I mean.
Do we know where the wells are across the street, so where that system's gonna end up landing too? Is it, that we gonna end up pushing that system closer to the well too, down the road?
Well, these
Yeah,
setbacks are from the fields, not the wells, they don't show the wells on
There's no
here.
wells other than.
There's no wells, opposite, you know what I'm saying, across the street from their existing
Yeah,
system,
you
you know
can
what I'm
see
saying?
there,
So
so
when they
they're
repair,
already, yeah, their wells must be on the other side of the house.
Yeah, there are
Okay.
wells there, but they're just not located on this plan. because
Okay,
it's not-
so they're further away. Oh yeah, they see the
Yeah,
one
see
leaching field
leaching.
out front, and there was one further away. I just wanna make sure. It wasn't tucked up front by the road, and then next, you know, the septic
Right.
systems, and we gotta push that close to the well afterwards.
No, and probably when this one's redone, it's gonna fall under that new rule anyway that we have, that it's gonna be a treatment anyway.
Oh, true.
'Cause you just don't
Yeah.
get 100,
We can get used
and
to
you're
that.
undersized lot.
I wish the engineer was here to ask them.
Well, I think it was just a surveyor did it. There's really no engineer. Like, they just hired a surveyor to locate all the things.
And that was at your request, right, Ed? 'Cause they come in
Yeah,
earlier.
they said, hey, we're just gonna put it where we, put the old one, we're okay, and since there were so many septics in the area, I made them come to a board meeting. Because I knew it would be within 100.
Yeah,
So I think I'd be fine leaving it inside the fence just because of this turnaround.
yeah.
I know it's their property, I can't see putting it out there.
Well,
And it's gonna be a deep well, they probably have a point there, so it's better, it's gonna be deep
Oh.
and tested, it's still not ideal, but.
see, I just don't know how to word the motion, though. Do we say 10 feet, 12 feet off of each side of the fence, and to give them a rough location in that corner, or?
Well, I think you can grant a waiver for, instead of
The
like, he has
distance.
52.7, say 55 or 60. So you give a number there, and
They
then
have to pull.
they'll be forced to go
Right.
further away.
So it's almost 65 from center of cover.
What do you
That's-
think it is? Since they did my eyes, I can't read too close.
I thought about 65, 1 to 20.
Yeah, it's 10.
It's 220, so. Yeah, 65 puts it, well, if you gotta be 10 off the property line, unless you give them a waiver to the property line.
That's why I said 12. To be safe, to give them a couple of feet each way.
Yeah, so you'd have to grant a waiver to the property line too.
If you wanna go closer.
Yeah.
It gets you a little further by 5 feet. You could be 65 from the center cover, but you need a 5-foot waiver to property line to do that.
Yeah,
So
that's better, I think.
it's further, it's the furthest we can
Yeah.
be. You're still
And like you
outside.
said, when they go to do the field, it's gonna help them, because they're gonna be far away, they're gonna have more room to put the new field in.
Yeah, it's only gonna help.
Yeah, an engineer would have put it up where we're saying to put it.
And from the tank, you could be 55.
They met that easily.
Yeah, so 55 from the tank and 65 from, the pit, center of leaching pit. And you need to grant a 5-foot, just grant it anyway in case they, you know what I mean, I would say grant them a 5-foot waiver to the property line.
Yep.
About his property, but to do that, we'd probably have to notify that abutter, wouldn't we?
Is there a roadway or a butter?
So it's a right of way, but there isn't a butter there? What's, Chris?
Yeah, it's a right way over a road, so yeah, there would have to be in the butter there, I would imagine.
There is a house right there, this is a paved, goes right to this house.
Yeah,
It looks far
on
away.
this plan, it just shows 9-lane line, 7-lane line, doesn't show a right of way in there.
Yeah,
So,
but we know there is one though from this plan.
Yeah, and just to be on the safe side there, right, it could just be an easement type right away, so it still has underlying ownership,
So we probably can't grant that.
so you're better off just, notifying, just to be safe.
yeah, you're right, though.
Why don't we tell Ed what we're looking for and tell him to notify the abutters and come back in 2 weeks with those distances that we think. And unless he comes in and gives Ed a good reason in the next 2 weeks why he can't move it,
Well, let me,
we'll let him put it there.
65 there.
And the good thing
By
is he's
going-
got a nice survey for when he's ready for his septic
Oh, yeah.
repair.
It'll save him some money.
Everything's
You
located.
Really, you're only gaining like 2 to 3 feet by giving that variance.
Yeah.
So we're just going 62 and
For
not,
the waiver to the property line, you mean?
yeah, the waiver to the property line, you're only gaining 2 to 3 feet, because you're on an arc. So where you can get 65 at 5 feet, you're at 60, almost 2.5, 63 feet at 10 feet away.
So
So you're not, you
what's-
are further.
Yeah, so what's the distance, if you give 10 feet off the property line, what's the distance, the max distance?
62.
62, so you could.
Is that to the center or the side?
Center to, well,
Yeah,
and you can go to 65 if we get a 5-foot waiver. So you're gaining 3 feet. Is it
Yeah.
worth making them go notify the butter for 3 feet, or is,
no,
I don't think, you only gain
No.
3 feet?
no.
So you could just grant them the waiver for like.
62,
Well, you
55.
give them a couple feet, cause like I said, it's center.
But is that what they're gonna pull off of? So we don't know how wide that pit is, so I would say give them,
Okay, so,
pull off that cover as well, because it's the only thing we have for reference.
Yeah, we should give them a waiver from the center of the cover, because
Center.
that's what they measured off of.
okay.
And then that'll make it easy, they can do what a
Do you
tape
wanna go
measure.
exactly 62, or you wanna give them 60 to give them a little play?
We can go 60, because we'll still well be over, it can't be more than 6 feet to the prior edge of stone, or
Yeah.
7 feet, you're still above 50, you still meet
Yeah.
code.
Yeah,
And
So go
then,
60 and 50. It's almost 55 from the
so,
tank.
yeah, cause if you give him whatever 60, then he's kind of forced to go in the spot you're going, you know?
Right.
You can't put it closer, so.
so 60 from the field, and then what would the cover be? So we still gotta give them one from the tank, right?
It's about 54 feet, so if you give them 50, they'll have a little leeway.
No, actually,
Oh, you wanna-
outside the tank, right?
Yeah, because actually, we should go a little further then. Yeah, because the edge of the tanks, you're really supposed to be at the
Yeah,
edge of the
that's-
tank, not the cover, so.
But it should be outside the tank by the time we get over there, right? Of the 50 feet?
Yeah, the 50 should be from the outside of the
Yeah,
tank.
and
to it.
anything over 50, you don't have to give them.
But we should, as I'm saying, there should be enough to get that, right?
Yeah.
Cause it's 37.2 now, right?
Right, yeah,
Even
you're
with the extra,
just 53 feet.
Yeah, so you don't need a waiver for that. You-
We're just
you
gonna
need a
make
waiver
sure
for
you-
49, but
Right.
not for 50.
And then just gonna make sure you're 50 feet from the,
Right.
which is, meets code, so we don't even need a waiver.
Okay. But you should let them know though how we did the math.
Right,
So we're expecting that to be 54 feet away all day long, right?
so
Correct.
54 from the septic tank and 63.
From the center of the cover.
But we'll give a waiver to 60 to give them a little leeway.
Was it 62 or 63?
But you can get 63 and 10 feet off the property line.
But
I mean, that's
60's all right.
Right, but the waiver you're gonna give is 60.
Yeah,
But
just-
I'm just writing it down.
63 and.
For there.
Yeah, we're not gonna do anything for the tank because they don't need it.
They don't need it because they meet code at 50.
We'll just do 60 from the field, from the center of the field cover.
Yeah, to the well.
Okay.
Do we agree on that?
we do.
I'll make a motion that we approve a 60-foot variance from the center of the field cover to the new well. At whatever,
991.
yeah, at 9 Langola's, whatever it's called.
Pines. Second?
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Alright. Next on the agenda is review and approve meeting minutes. I read them both and I'm good.
We all present at both, Chris?
Oh, yes, the first set, you were not
Okay.
present. It was just me and Bob.
Yeah.
You do the first one.
You go with August 16th?
Yep.
I'll make a motion, we approve the August 16th, 2023 meeting minutes as typed.
We'll second that. Any more discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Derek recused because
Recused.
he was not present.
So is it abstained?
Abstain.
Abstained.
Abstained.
And the next, all three were present.
Yes, all three were here.
Body art. You were good with this one, Chris?
Yeah, I'm good.
Got any clarify.
Yeah, me too.
for us.
I read through it. It looked good to me.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for September sixth, 2023 as typed.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next on the agenda is discuss recent Board of Health agents pending items. Ed?
There's one pending item. We were doing an inspection at a retail food establishment, and there were some guys cooking burgers for a nonprofit, and they're not licensed or permitted by the board in any way. We were wondering what should we try to get them permitted, or should we do something where you guys would give them permission to do that, but they would have to put up a sign saying, okay, this food was not inspected by the Board of Health.
Are we allowed to give them an exemption just to, basically we're saying we're looking the other way.
I believe you're allowed to do it, yeah.
How
But
often does this happen?
This particular one, or, there's been other ones where, like, there's been there was, at the arts festival, there was someone who was selling food that didn't.
Yeah, we've done the one day ones, but I'm saying this, like, is this something they're doing all the time, or is it just once in a while?
Not sure. We think it's not just once or twice a year, it's more than that, but we don't think they're out there in January doing it just because it's so cold, you know, so, like I said, we can follow up on that and find out just exactly how long they're out there or how long they're gonna be out there. But we just kind of wanted, not just for this one, but just in general, what our policy was gonna be. Do you want everything inspected, or just make sure we can shut them down if they don't?
I mean, within reason, I do. I mean, because we make everybody else do it. I mean,
Yeah.
every food truck, everybody that sells anything in town, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I'm kind of surprised we could do that, say, well, you know, we're gonna let you waive the state regs and not have to be inspected.
We did something at, the hardware store, with the popcorn.
That was for popcorn though.
But we shut that down.
Yeah, well, we didn't, let's be for the record, we didn't shut that
But
down,
it-
because I was
Stopped.
pissed.
But that was an establishment, whereas
They was
this,
giving free food.
yeah, so there is a waiver for, permitting, like, they always say that a church bake sale, like a bunch of people, families from the church, make brownies and cookies, and they sell them at the bake sale. None of that is inspected by us, but it just happens once or twice a year, and it's all for charity,
Yeah.
so it's waived. This is kind of similar, as in, it's a nonprofit, they're not making money off it, whereas like a hardware store, that they're making money. I think that's.
No, they were giving it
It
away.
was free.
Larry still shut them down. He said,
Yeah.
and he
They
said,
give
we-
free
and
popcorn
he
when
said
we
we
shut
couldn't give him a waiver. All they were doing was making popcorn. That's why I'm asking, because he said, and I checked on it because I wasn't happy. They had one of the popcorn machines. They were just letting people take free popcorn if they wanted it. And he shut them down and he said they had to go through the whole thing. And I think I said at that meeting, can't we just, you know, and he said he checked into it and we couldn't look the other way on that. So, and I got a lot of slack from people telling me, why can't they have free popcorn anymore? So I followed up on that one. I was here when that happened, so,
I was too.
Yeah. yeah. Couldn't go in the hardware store
That's
anymore.
probably why they went out of business.
Yeah, we caused it.
Sold.
Did you have a question about popcorn?
No,
Oh, okay.
although you said they were cooking burgers and giving them, or selling them for a nonprofit.
Yeah.
So what would happen if someone did get sick from the burgers?
Exactly.
That's your own risk.
With a
But
sign,
it's the same as what would happen if someone got sick from the brownies at the church bake sale.
That's what I'm wondering, is it the same?
Yeah.
Like, with,
It's
with your, a church bake sale, you know that was baked in someone's home and given out.
Not in a
This is
parking
food
lot.
establishment
But
or
I think
not?
that's just it. If they're doing that, a lot of times they put a sign, they say, this was not inspected by the Board of Health, but we're selling it. It was, you know, it was made
Yeah.
at, you know, Mary's house, you know, whatever. But as long as people know that, okay, what you're buying, you know, wasn't inspected, but you say, oh, well, Mary's a great cook, I trust Mary, so, you know, it's okay. So it'd be something similar to that, I guess, you know, where you're just informing the customer of what you're buying. You know. So that would take liability away from us, because we're saying, look, it wasn't inspected by us, so you can't come after us. You can go after them,
Right,
but that's that's their problem.
Yeah, I think I'm with Bob on this one, though, I mean,
Yeah,
that, you know, you're in a parking lot cooking burgers, you don't have safe serve certificate, you don't have allergy awareness
Oh, yeah.
certificate. You don't know if the burgers are kept in a
Right.
refrigerator at the correct temperature.
yeah.
You don't know where they're cleaning the utensils in between customers. I know it's for a
I was-
nonprofit and a great,
I was leaning towards
And-
if
and
it was like a
meat
once
is
or
high risk.
twice a
Meat's
year
lot higher
thing.
risk than
It's a
burgers.
high
But if it's a
Brisket.
consistent thing, then yeah, definitely.
It's
has
way
to
worse
be.
than popcorn.
Yeah, and like I said, it's worse- it's
Like
worse
nobody
than
gets
basic,
sick from
so-
popcorn, bad popcorn, right? But
Wow.
if you get bad hamburgers,
Well-
you can get sick.
You, unclean hands going into a popcorn thing, that's
Yeah.
why people get sick.
Yeah.
right. And like you said, we.
Oh, no, they were putting in the bags and everything inside, so all you just take a bag. And they made them shut it down.
You have to have a sink to clean it in.
Yeah.
was 2021, right?
And you can't use your restroom as a cleaning sink.
That was right before COVID.
So that was.
That was like the
why-
year before COVID.
What? Larry's been gone longer than that.
Huh? Well,
Larry's
yeah,
been
so it
gone
was
a
either,
lot longer than
yeah.
that.
It was when Larry was still here.
It was right before.
Yeah.
That was like 7 years ago.
I'm getting old, dude. I can't remember. I told somebody on the board, I was on the board the other day for like 10 years, and they're like, you've been on for like 14 years or something. I was like, oh,
Yeah, I've been 10. so-
yeah. Time flies,
I
right?
did like 7 or 8 now, I think.
I'm getting to that age. Don't pick on old people.
What about you, Chris? Just so we
He's
have a-
calling
So
me,
if
sir,
it's-
you guys are picking on me. What's going
If
on
it's a
tonight?
consistent thing, I think it definitely has to be permitted.
I think even if it's a once in a while
I mean,
thing.
I'd be curious to know, like,
I'm with Bob. I don't think
Yeah.
you should be cooking burgers in a parking lot
No.
I mean,
and selling them to people.
like, we should get
No.
some more, maybe with more information too. Like, I don't know, because this is the one and done, and you know, maybe it never happens again.
We had our food inspector inspecting something there, and they were doing this at the time, so.
I thought you said it was over the week. Somebody said it was over the weekend.
It was on a
No,
Sunday.
it was on-
Yeah, it was on a weekend.
it was on a weekend.
I forget it was Saturday or Sunday, but it was during the weekend when normally we don't do inspections, so that's what we call it.
But I don't,
Yeah. I mean, if it continues, yeah, I say we have to do something about it.
I mean, we could permit them if they want, like you said, if you wanna get a permit and
Mm.
show us what you're doing, but I just don't think, just cause it's a nonprofit, that to put up a sign. Like you said, the other stuff was cooked in a house in somebody's, in a
Right.
proper kitchen, this is just, you're cooking,
Yeah,
They're cooking in a parking lot.
is- is
Mm.
the
it's
thing.
No,
literally,
and-
they're on a parking lot with a grill set up.
And I would say just to protect them just as much as to protect us. Like, you know, you don't want a charity to get, you know, sued for no reason. Like, I would say, like, we're not trying to be jerks, we're just trying to protect you too, you know what I'm saying?
But I mean, it's not
Well,
even on the
obviously-
agenda, so we can't even vote on it, so.
Right.
No, yeah,
So I would say
nothing
until that
about it,
time
it's just-
to-
it's just, and it's not just for this one parking lot, it's for other ones as well. Because like I said, there are ones that happen at like a festival, it just happens once a year as well. But they don't notify us and we find out about it after the fact.
Right. Which is tough to catch,
Yeah.
so it's already done.
But usually we can talk to the festival organizers, like, and just give them warnings up front, like, look, any type of food needs to come through us, if not, we're gonna shut it down the day of, you know, and just, you know, let them know that.
And I know people out in the public will go, oh, it's just a waste of time, waste of money, blah, 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 this is stupid, but it's, you know, everyone can complain all they want until they get sued. Then they'll be like,
Well,
oh, I
sick.
should have done this.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
well, the towns are getting sued for $5 million. Why the Board of Health let them do that?
Right.
So,
Right, and they just pulled a permit, I know at John Pond Park for that over the weekend, they had a couple weeks ago, they came and pulled a permit for
Yeah,
that,
and we
so.
inspected them.
Right.
And in fact, I went out there and did it, you know.
Yeah.
So we can gladly give people permits, as long as you,
Yeah.
not like we're not gonna give you a
And
permit, you just.
It's
need
not
to-
even that expensive, right?
It's
for
just they
one
have
day.
to have the right stuff.
It's just
you
making
know,
sure you
that's-
have all your stuff. So it's not like our
that's the
fees are
problem. Not
obnoxious.
anybody can be just serving out burgers.
Yeah, it's not a money thing, I think it's just the fact that, a lot of them probably wouldn't pass inspection. I mean, John Pond Park did because they have the fridges there and everything like that, so. And it was done by someone who owned a restaurant, so they had all the certifications, they were very knowledgeable. That was more of an exception, you know, so like, they did it, but the people doing this, that's just it. They're probably not cooks, they're probably
Yeah.
not
Right,
chefs.
that's
They're-
wrong, you
they're-
know what I
they're
mean,
backyard
to allow it and just
Oh,
have
yeah.
them,
all right, well, we can't beat that any farther.
okay.
You got any
Okay.
more
I
stuff?
think you have a.
Yeah, I do. So we mentioned it, at the last meeting, which was a while ago, about the applesauce and cinnamon applesauce. so we mentioned it, that it was, out there, and there was lead in the cinnamon applesauce for, it was Wanna Banana, Weiss, and Schmucks. Turns out, only Wanna Banana was sold in Massachusetts, and there was some Wanna Banana sold at the dollar store here in Lakeville. I went down there to verify, they did pull it, like early in November when the recall first came out. But like I said, we don't know how long the products were on there prior to the recall. So if anyone has Wanna Banana applesauce, cinnamon applesauce, throw it away. It's high in lead, or a lot of them are high in lead, maybe not every one. But over 50 kids have gotten sick throughout the US from it. Most of them in other states, but like I said, they pulled it on everywhere, and the Dollar Tree was were the main stores doing it. And like I said, they did pull it, they got a notice right away, they did pull it from the shelves, I verified that, but they may have been selling it for 3 or 4 weeks prior to that, before they actually found out about it. So if anyone, we notified the daycare centers as well. If any daycare centers see a Wanna Banana applesauce, cinnamon applesauce, just to pull it from the kids and notify the parents and have those kids get tested for lead, because there were really high levels in there.
It was in the cinnamon?
Cinnamon, yeah. Wanna Banana, apple cinnamon applesauce, in one of those, you know, the pouch that you
Yeah.
need things. Yeah. So if you see any of those, or, you know, get rid of them and notify the parents to have their kids tested.
That's good for parents to know too, right? Cause somebody lives in a new house and the doctor's like, oh, they've been exposed to lead, they say no, so they start looking at other stuff if the kid gets sick. So at least now they might know to take a look for that.
Well, that's what it is. It was actually two parents that actually figured it out, because their kid was showing symptoms and they didn't want it, and they brought him to the doctor, and they went through everything. They went through the house, they went through our food, and finally they figured out it was in the applesauce. And that's when they notified, but it was actually one set of parents that figured it out, you know, just through deductive reasoning. They went through everything to get the lead levels down, because they had the house tested, which was probably the first thing they did. They found out there was no lead there, but it was, well, like I said, that's what I mean. So it was being sold for a while, and it's just, this particular kid was having 2 or 3 per day. That's why his symptoms were so bad. But a lot of the other kids may have just been having 1 per day, or 2 or 3 a week, which will affect them, but it won't be as pronounced as the kid that, you know, with whose parents notified them, so.
All right, good job following up on that.
One more thing, so we're thinking of hiring a new, special, inspector. One of our inspectors, Jim Romano, is going to Florida, for the winter, so we're thinking of, recommending someone to the select board for approval. Many of you guys probably know him, Kevin Damari.
I don't.
He's the health agent in Freetown.
Okay, I don't.
Yeah, so right now we're using the health agent in Berkeley for some inspections, and since he's unavailable, we're thinking of using the health agent in Freetown, which is a very similar situation.
I'm fine with that.
Any issues with that?
No,
And that has to go to the selectmen, 'cause I believe they had to vote on it.
Yeah, the select board has to approve any type of inspector, usually. I don't know if they approved Jim Romano, but that was done a while back.
I believe they did. I think that's
Yeah.
how he came on.
Yeah,
He was approved. And I know Nate Darling is also approved as a backup.
Right.
Those are the only 2 we had since I've been on the board.
Yeah, but Kevin has his soil evaluators. He does, like I said, he does inspections in Freetown, so he's.
And he's willing to do it.
Yeah.
I'm
Works
fine
for
with
me.
it, and then we'll have another one on the list.
Okay. We don't have to vote on anything because it wasn't on the agenda. In fact, we can't vote on it.
Yeah, and I don't think we can
Actually,
vote
I
on
don't
it. It's
think
for,
he's-
Yeah, we
it's-
shouldn't.
it's
It's
for-
for-
I was just gonna say you and him should just talk about it and figure it out.
Yeah, but cause it involves you two, that's the whole reason why, right? So yeah,
Correct.
we don't need the vote, but yeah, I'm good with it. Yeah,
Okay.
'cause I,
Just want to let everyone know what we're doing. That's it for me.
cool. Anybody else?
no, I don't have any.
I'm good.
You guys good over there? All right,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.